All right, now it's working. It wasn't before. Trying to figure out some better ways to do this. So I am streaming from a GoPro that's on the ground, so that's a little bit different than I did last time. So I can actually come over here and check out questions and that kind of stuff. So today, I'm getting ready for the Expo we're doing this weekend. We're joining Game and Fish Department to work on teaching people about animals. And a lot of those that I have are going to be the rattlesnakes, of course. So. Just got done cleaning the boxes, and I'm putting in all the cards and all that, and I'm going to start putting the animals in after that. These cards are the ones that we put on the bottom of these boxes. It kind of, if somebody poops or something, it'll soak it up. But the good stuff is that it actually, let's see, is it working? Oh, it's a little behind, yeah. Are you able to hear me? Okay, yeah. So no, the whole team is not going to be there. Most people are going to be, well, either running the line or off herping or something. So things like this, usually I'll just kind of do it myself. I think Elizabeth and my daughter, my 5-year-old, is going to be coming to come help. I guess she's 5 now. It's old enough to start, time to start working. Yeah, these cards I like. They're ones that we had designed for these boxes, and they have these little logos on there. And that's kind of like when you see people taking photos at the red carpet. They have the logos behind them on that. That's kind of what inspired this, because a lot of people take photographs of the animals, put them up on Instagram or whatever, don't remember who we were or anything like that. So it's just been kind of a nice way of, I'll be just out on the internet somewhere and just see a random snake picture pop up on somebody I've never met. And like, hey, that's mine. That's my snake. The clear boxes on the floor is going to be where the snakes are going to be displayed. So this is it's kind of an interesting thing, and it's something that I actually like, is that some people get really angry at me at some of these events, because I think these boxes are where the snakes live. In reality, they live in these things behind it. It's a whole different situation. Much better, but we put them in here temporarily just so people can get a really good look at them. I'm going to clean another box while I'm talking. We did at one point have larger display boxes for these events, and what ends up happening in those cases is the snake just picks a corner anyway and just sits there. And when we went to these smaller boxes that had thicker sides, they are easier to work with, they're more secure, which means they're safer for us, and we can move them around faster, so that's safer for the animals. And they really tend to stress less. It might be just because they can kind of, they're in a little bit of a tighter spot, and for whatever reason, it doesn't stress them out so much. All right, cleaning out a couple more boxes, and I'm going to start putting animals in there. I usually kind of lay them out like this first, just so I can pick who's going to go in there. There's a couple of different styles of boxes that we use, and I like having the bigger ones or the more, I guess, dangerous ones in the newer versions, because we put little things in there that are made to keep us safe. The newest versions have holes that are drilled at a certain angle and little edges on there that would prevent, just in the event that a snake just went crazy and struck upward at some nuts angle, couldn't get a fang through there into a finger. What would be the point of all this education work? To show people that snakes are not something to fear as much as they like to if we're out there at the presentation and get bit or something like that. So, not what we want to do. Of course, this activity is not something that most people are ever going to do anyway, so it's not quite like your standard situation. Okay. So that's all the boxes I have. Is that it? Oh, okay. Cool. I have 14 boxes plus one for a Gila. So that's going to be one of every rattlesnake species in the state. And maybe some random snake. Let's see what else we can make. This usually isn't as exciting as it seems, or you hope it isn't. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this camera on my chest mount and see if this works. There. Then you can see what I see, kind of. Spam. That's a big part of my day. Okay, who's first? I think this big orange speckled rattlesnake. Buddy. This one is just kind of new out of hibernation. There we go. Easy. I think I'll come and check for questions in between. Probably a good way to do this. Looks like it's still working. Yeah, it's working. All right, let's see. And I'm going to put one more speckled rattlesnake in there. So I guess that accounts for the special snake I was talking about, where you have one that is we have 13 boxes. Is that gonna work? Yeah, it'll work. I'm like missing one. Somebody might get to be in a big box. There's 13 species here, but if you were to read 15 or 16 in some cases, then those are also correct answers. It depends on how you feel about certain things. But officially recognized by Arizona Game and Fish, and therefore what we are going to follow as well, 13 species. The ones I just put in there are the speckled rattlesnakes. Yeah, I know that it is safe to tail these animals if you do it properly. I just don't. I mean, if I can get away with not ever touching the snakes, I'm going to be a lot safer. So that's what a lot of what we do is based on, is just the idea like, hey, if I don't ever have to touch them, I'm in a much better, safer place. So I use 2 hooks, move everything out very gently, put it in here. In time, hooks become pretty second nature. So you learn to do everything without touching it. Makes it pretty easy. I like rattlesnakes a lot, obviously, but I also like living and all that. So I'm not going to do anything that's going to put me at risk needlessly. Okay. Next thing, once I get a row done, on these bags. This is for a couple of different things. When I put this box into this bag, it's going to calm the snake down, because right now you can see what it's doing. It's kind of trying to get out of here. And that'll stop that. It'll just go, okay, I'm in a box now. Wish I weren't necessarily, but this is okay. Then I put this on there, and I use a plastic zip tie. I have some other zip ties that are in the mail that are not single use, so I'm not wasting plastic so much, but that's what I got. So what this does is that it's in there, it's calmed down, it's safer for the animal, and then it's self-contained too. So if I were to get into an accident or something, there you go. Snake is going to be in a bag. So it's not such a big deal. You do not want to be the guy that has a bunch of rattlesnakes that gets in an accident and they're all over the freeway. Or unconscious in a car and I have 13 rattlesnakes crawling around preventing people from helping me. That kind of stuff. Little things. I was just texting with Cody over at Rattlesnake Ready and Rattlesnake Ranch AZ, who I'm going to be visiting on Wednesday to give a presentation. And we were, you know, big conversation I have with Jeff a lot too, is just the challenge of trying to build an education-focused YouTube channel like this without all the stunts and sensationalism and stupid crap is hard, because I mean, I'm thankful that nobody that works for me has this type of personality, but it's very easy to exploit the potential dangers of these animals by essentially doing stunts, and that gets followers very quickly. So this doesn't look all that exciting, but that's why I'm going to be doing it a long time. Are those Tubbs rattlesnakes? Yeah, those things in the back. Those are all different enclosures for different rattlesnakes. That's not all the rattlesnakes, and then on this other wall over here we have some bigger ones for the larger rattlesnakes. How often do we do expos? Well, we do them when we can. I mean, most of the events that we do are smaller. It's pretty common too. Like in fact, if any of you, if you're in Phoenix or Tucson and you have like a homeowners association in particular, something like that, where people might want to have me come out and talk to the community about safety, let me know. I come and do it. Doesn't cost anything. I bring whatever the rattlesnakes are relevant to the area and talk about it. So that's usually what we do. It's smaller things. It's more of a presentation than a display, but we do lots of little displays too. So a big thing like this, like a big expo, less often. A lot of that's just for the benefit of the snakes too. It's a bigger thing. We do the Phoenix Reptile Expo every November. We're not going to be at the one in April, and we do the Arizona Expo, and occasionally we do other things. This is a little banded rock rattlesnake. Very pretty little snake. I forgot to put my key in. Easy. All right. I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it every time I'm on a live. Don't freak out if you see any hard water stains in our enclosures. We are in a well here, so we have a lot of minerals in there, and the ventilation that I have on these enclosures is going to dry out one of those in about 3 days. How many snake removal companies are there in Arizona? There's a lot. It's a growing number. And it's something I feel a little bit conflicted about, because I'm very happy that people are opting to release snakes, and I wish that those numbers were more growing towards people doing it on their own property. Like if you have a snake in your property, capture it and release that snake. The problem I have with a lot of the new volunteers that are popping up, again, grateful for what's going on there, but it takes a lot more effort than catching the snake. A lot of it is very, very specific stuff. So if the net output of what we are doing is we are creating a lot of, trying to phrase this properly so I don't make anyone upset. If let's say we were to get popular in this and then inspire 300 individuals to start small reptile relocation programs, but don't have the follow through on all of the necessary information on natural history, then we may not actually be doing any good. So it's something that's pretty tricky.